Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
How about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 266 of How About That Cigar Live. Thanks so much for joining us live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Instagram, and live on
Rumble.
So grateful having you guys with us. And of course, if you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, guys, thanks so much for making How About That Cigar a part of your regular audio podcast rotation. And if you would, click on all the big, beautiful buttons and click on them right now. The like button, the subscribe button, the bell, the follow, all of the things. Click on all the things so that you guys don't miss anything we have going on.
And we appreciate it so much.
So very much.
So let's knock this damn elephant out of the room here. It's been a rough weekend for me sports-wise.
Yeah.
The Vikings lost on Thursday. The Yankees lost on Friday and Saturday. And then my Jets didn't show up to play the Patriots.
Yeah, they didn't arrive to the game.
They didn't. But should we get somebody else in here?
Well, I and just real quick, the Minnesota Wild are off to an insanely good start. So
do you know, doesn't it seem like every Minnesota sports, they get us all worked up while they tear our hearts out?
Yeah. So, as good as the Wild are, they are susceptible. So we'll leave it at that, I guess. But hopefully they can keep things going throughout the season. I want to real quick jump into this week's Spirit of Mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. Do you find yourself unsatisfied with the top 10 list from How About That Cigar? Are you wondering how cigars from Postania didn't make the HBTC list, but found their way onto other lists? Well, fortunately, you can be reminded every week with this Postania Cigars advertisement. Postania Cigars, the #1 unranked cigar in the industry. All right. So this week's Spirit of Mystery is a little bit lighter in color than some we've had recently, but it's still got a nice color to it. Looks like it's got some decent legs.
It happens to be a bourbon.
And it smells lovely. Let's take a little I'm not going to say what I said last week. I'm going to taste the bourbon now.
That's good.
That's very good, actually. It tastes a little
familiar.
Little high proof. Maybe in the teens somewhere, I think.
So
maybe higher, but it's a little hot, but it's it's high proof, but it's still smooth, good sweetness.
So I will let you know you've had that before.
A little bit of funk.
You've had it before.
Okay.
And that was donated by Dax.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you, Dax.
So.
Cheers to you, brother. Our special guest this evening, we normally get our football talk in already, but our special guest this evening has a lot of background in football and a lot to say, along with, Raul and myself. So definitely want to get him in on the football conversation before we, of course, get to the cigar conversation. So let's get our special guest on the show. And as always, on How About That Cigar Live, special guests are brought to us by our friends at Drew Estate. And Drew Estate wants to announce a new member of the Deadwood line of cigars, the Girl with No Name Lonsdale. This new cigar features a wrapper leaf from Mexico in a slim and elegant 7x44 Lonsdale format that promises a slow burn and nuanced smoking experience. The Deadwood Girl with No Name Lonsdale cigar is presented in 20-count boxes, has an MSRP of $11 per cigar, and is shipping now to Drew Estate retail partners. For more information, please visit drewestate.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please help us out, put your hands together, and welcome to episode 266 of How About That Cigar Live from Howard G. Cigars, the man himself, Howard G. Welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you guys for having me.
So, I hear that you had a little Jets love go wrong with you too, huh?
Man, it's been a rough week.
You can't trust him.
First of all, let me tell you this. What's up, Palmer? Let me tell you this. Everybody in the world knows I'm a Florida State fan and I'm a Dallas Cowboy. I've been getting killed this year, man. It's been bad. So I lost a bet to my boy Willie Moranti with Laura Wara, who I've been beating him the last 3 years in a row and making him wear Florida State stuff live at Corona. And he hates his life, right? So this year he finally got me. He got me. So I'm gonna have to wear some type of Miami Hurricane paraphernalia on like social media for a day or something. Oh. So since I'm going, but he's not gonna be back till a week or something later. So I said, listen, before I put another person's jersey on that I have no care about, at least I'm gonna wear my brother's jersey first. So I have on the Ike Taylor Super Bowl Pittsburgh Steelers, the one with the hat.
There we go.
Now, so I got to start with him. Then I'll probably wear Leon jersey next from Jacksonville before I have to wear all these other people's stuff. So, anyways,
I think instead of wearing the Hurricane jersey, you should wear the Crane.
Oh,
the whole Crane outfit, the whole birdie outfit.
No, don't give him no ideas, bro.
No, it's his money, bro. They'll never see your face.
No. Listen,
never see your face.
Nah, Dad, they won't know. He's gonna make sure they see my face. I ridiculed him for 3 years, bro. Hey, listen, but nothing's more legendary than when I got Leon Cersei years ago. I bought him a 5X shirt that said "Sucks to be you" in Florida State colors. Now that's like the pinnacle, And I posted that and all the legends, and he hated his life for a whole day. Now that gave me the ultimate joy. But other than that, I'm ready for whatever's gonna come my way. I gotta handle it.
So hitting on the big games, from this week in the NFL, the Vikings starting the week out. The Vikings, lost on Thursday night. A super close game.
Yeah,
didn't feel that close.
But I was not expecting that. I expected the Vikings to keep their momentum going. And then my team,
Before you go on, hold on. There's a weird stat out there that any team that has played Detroit and got whooped by Detroit or lost to Detroit, the following week they lose because they're so beat up. That team is tough.
Detroit is legit.
They're tough. They are.
Yeah. And so my team, Green Bay, goes to Jacksonville for what you're thinking is not going to be an ultra blowout, but going to be a pretty safe game for them. And they barely, thank God for
kicker
going out and getting that kicker, Brandon McManus, because our kicker before was terrible. Yeah. And our kicker saved us the last 2 weeks, but that Jacksonville game should have been probably a 10-point game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then all the injuries, and I know every team's going through it, but man, Green Bay, it's like Jordan Love gets hurt for a second time, and thank God for Malik Willis, because that kid is legit.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he's got his head screwed on straight. And then the Jets, the Jets probably should have also beaten the Patriots by 10, and they end up losing, and that was brutal. And you think of all the shit the Jets have gone through this year with, all the Rodgers drama, and then firing the coach, and then bringing in Devontae, and it's still just falling apart.
I think the Jets organization is cursed.
It could be because
they're cursed.
And then the Cowboys, which, don't get me wrong, last night's game, I expected it to be down to the wire. I expected it to be a very close game. Because San Francisco is a very good football team, but I'm sorry, but bro, your Cowboys just got handled last night.
Well, Matt, that's not anything that I'm not aware of. This is like 4 consecutive blowouts in a row.
Yeah.
And it started with the first 3 years ago when Cowboys went 12-5. Playoff game was at Jerry World. Who do we play it's 49ers. They came out with a boombox.
Yeah.
A big red boombox. They came out doing this kind of stuff and listening to the hardcore rap music. And my Cowboys came out like they were Beethoven. And by the end of the first quarter, we were down by 20, and we never survived. So that was that year. The next year, we went 12-5, and we beat Tom Brady the first round, retired him in Tampa. Next round, who we played? Played San Francisco. Guess what? Now we go play them. They beat us by another 20 points. And then last year, we had another game against them in the regular season. They beat us 42-10. So at the end of the day, anybody with a half a brain can see that those guys are built for it tough. You know what I mean? Those guys are built for it tough.
Yeah.
So, and the best thing that happened for me is I had Kittles on my fantasy. But other than that, you know what I mean? They were killing us. And I knew they we would have to meet them with the same amount of consistency and force and aggressiveness, but we're only able to do it for a half.
Yeah.
Before the real Cowboys show back up. We're a finesse team. They're a finesse team, guys. So
what is with your run defense? Anybody that the 49ers put in there ran them over.
Yeah, I think a kid from the practice squad literally flew in
just
this week.
Game. And he got 1,000 yards.
Not quite that many. Yeah, I heard a stat this morning on one of the sports shows, and I gotta believe him because it's a sports show on like ESPN or something. That in total defense, there's only one team in all of football that's worse than Dallas right now.
Yeah, it's the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Wow.
I mean,
that's true statement.
That's
the level of I don't even know how to. That's the level of patheticness that we are right now, man. Listen, I'm really taking it on the chin, bro. It's awful.
Oh.
It's actually painful.
So, do you think it's time for Jerry to give up the reins as GM and just be the owner?
Yeah, but Jerry's not going to do that. Like,
no.
Jerry's the only owner in the whole entire league that has his own show. He only cares about being the center of attention. And so with that being the case, he would never bring in another coach in there that would tell him to get out the way and let me do my job.
Yeah.
He would never do that. His ego is bigger than I-4, which is an interstate over here in Florida. But he doesn't care. And when you get a person that really doesn't care, that's when you got to be like, okay, am I going to be an idiot and still put all my heart and soul into this stuff when this guy literally does not care to the point where he's justifying that when the Cowboys got blown out in the playoffs last year by the youngest team in the league at the time, which is your Packers, right? Yeah. We got blown out, but I'm at Corona Sand Lake, right? We're down 27 at halftime, bro. People are looking at me like, Howie, you okay? I say, I can't take it. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Yep.
They're like, give him another scotch. Give him Howie a scotch. I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, it was so bad. And I sat there, and after that game, Jerry said, I swear to you, Cowboy Nation, we're going all in. We're going all in. So now, guess what? The whole summer, everybody's talking about what the Cowboys are going to do. What are the Cowboys going to do? And then you got Derrick Henry available. He bought another house in Dallas, which he already lives in the offseason. He buys his second house, guys. So I'm thinking, we're about to sign Derrick Henry. They don't even give the guy a call.
Yep.
Derrick Henry. So he ends up signing with Baltimore, 2-year, $16 million, but they got state tax. Cowboys could have got him 2-year, $12.5, $13 million. He would have did it because he wanted to be the Cowboy. So I ended up going to that Cowboy game against Baltimore because I wanted to see him live against us. And he ran for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I said,
I like what Jerry said. Well, I don't think he'd fit in our offense. You put Henry in anybody's offense, you fix around it.
You move your offense around him.
Yes, exactly. He's a beast.
Man.
And then because, us up here, most of the people around here, obviously Minnesota Vikings fans. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, along with a lot of other people actually in Minnesota. But the NFC North was really tight, and we needed Chicago to lose. And the way Chicago lost that game with that Hail Mary,
oh my God, bro.
That was one of the and the way I don't remember his name right now, but the
Stevenson,
the defensive back that
number
was
29.
Stevenson,
he was taunting the crowd, and then he actually tipped the ball and gave it to him.
Oh, that's karma for your ass.
That was karma.
Oh man,
lit him up.
I saw Pat McAfee earlier was really going in on him. So Pat McAfee and Ike, they're like this. So I sent the clip to Ike. Ike was like, "Listen, man," he said the young man had enough heart to go stand in front of his teammates and apologize to his teammates and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. He said he was in the heat of the moment, blah, blah, blah. He said, but hey, for him to go apologize to his teammates, tell his coaches, I take all full responsibility. He said, hey, you gotta give him a little pass. I said, okay, fine. But I did some research to find out that he went to the University of the Miami Hurricanes. So that's typically the type of stuff they do. You know what I mean? Just typical stuff like they do.
Yeah, early celebration, no class.
Yeah, that's that type of stuff they do. If he went to Florida State, we wouldn't have that kind of issue.
Exactly.
So next week you have Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I'm as a Green Bay fan looking at playing Detroit next week in Detroit, but or is it in Lamb? I got to check to see if the game's in. Actually, Matt Brugger, you're in the comments right now, brother. Let me know if next week they're playing in Lambeau or at Ford Field, because I honestly don't remember. But either way, Detroit is so stacked. Detroit is so good. It's in Lambeau. I mean, that gives a little bit of an advantage, but with Jordan Love hurt and
so he's hurt for this week coming?
Well, I don't think. Here's the thing. I think he came back too early.
Against the Vikings,
because he went from an ankle injury and he took 2 weeks off, and then I think he came back too early, and now he hurt his groin in yesterday's game.
Oh man! Okay.
So I think he needs to sit out, and because Malik Willis he's doing okay, and I just with the defensive line. As hard pushing as they are, the quarterback's going to have to scramble like crazy, and you don't want a hurt quarterback out there trying to scramble around. And Malik Willis has wheels; he can move. So I say just let him heal, and let the receivers and Brandon Jacobs, forget about it, or Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. I have him on fantasy as well.
He's insane. And I was upset when we lost Aaron Jones and picked up Jacobs. I'm not upset anymore.
He was just he was a younger version of him.
Yeah.
He got 25 carries, 27 carries yesterday?
Yeah.
100, a buck 30.
Yeah, he's got a good average on the year. He's got a good had his first receiving touchdown I don't think it was this game. I think it was the game last week. He had his first ever receiving touchdown, which is just crazy to me. I mean, he's been in the league, 5 years now? That was his first ever receiving touchdown. But I'm glad to have him.
He was at the Raiders.
He was a Raider.
Raider.
Listen, I got to give a quick shout out real quick. So I'm a Magic season ticket holder, and we had a game tonight. I didn't go because we had the podcast, so I had to give it away. But my boy, Paolo Banchero, had 37 points at halftime.
Oh.
And he had his first 50-point game, which is our star player for the Magic. And so the Magic won 119-115. But shout out to my boy, Paolo Banchero, the Magic star, for having a hell of a game. 50-piece dinner.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's what's up. I wanted to give him that shout out. Those guys are great.
I don't want to steal him away, but love to have him on the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Get him next to Ant-Man.
The Magic are not going to do that no more.
Yeah.
Because every person that they have that's amazing, and they give them away, they go somewhere else and become a champion. So
perfect. Center of Minnesota.
Yeah. with Anthony Edwards.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards is hard to get along with, but he's Ant-Man. He should be the next face of the league. It was going to be John Morant, then he wanted to start playing around with guns and stuff. So, but I think it's going to be Ant-Man.
Well, we hope so.
Well, I think as much as I want to talk about sports all night, but it's a cigar show. We're going to talk about cigars a little bit. So let's start off by what you're smoking and drinking.
So I am smoking, believe it or not, this is my first cigar today. And I was in and out of meetings and running. So I started to, anytime I smoke my front nine, I have to smoke the back nine after it because they're intertwinable. They're twins. So you have to smoke them together. Yeah. And so that's what I'm doing, front nine and the back nine. And then after that, I'm going to go to probably one of our new releases, which is 5 rings. 5 rings is 3 little churches and 2 Ikes. Talks about Leon's 3 national championships and Ike's 2 Super Bowls. Nice. So I'm probably going to open up one of these. Well, since I got the Ike jersey on, it's going to be a Ike Sumatra. I'm going to end up smoking that next.
Nice.
So, and I know you guys like the Cameroon, so I'm going to send you some. I'm going to send you some sample packs.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Well, I am smoking the Cameroon, which is pretty darn tasty, if I say so myself.
Yeah. It's. I was telling you, it was of the cigars that I've tried from Howard. It's definitely my favorite, and I'm gonna get the exact same cigar lit up right now, and that is the Magic Stick Cameroon, and I'm gonna fire up that cigar on the Cigar Toast Cam. Cigar is the leading cigar accessory brand with innovative butane lighters, precision cigar cutting instruments, travel cases, and humidors. Each product is designed and manufactured with the utmost precision and attention to detail. The result is a range of products that exude quality and refinement, reflecting the brand's dedication to excellence. For more information, please visit Cigar.com. There we go. We're all fired up. So, Howard, since this is the first time, I mean, we've interviewed you at trade shows in the past, but this is the first time we've had you on the big show. And we love hearing from people about their origin stories. So take us back in time to your first cigar and kind of how that led to you getting into the business.
Okay, perfect. I always have a great time telling this story. So it was back in 2008. I was actually in Minnesota. I was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I went to a funeral, and it was a young lady that I was dating, and her grandmother had passed away at 107 years old. And the funeral was in Duluth. And after going to that funeral and taking a picture in front of Lake Superior, we ended up going back to Minneapolis, and she had a cousin by the name of Duncan, and he smoked cigars. And he goes, man, how would you like to smoke a cigar? And I'm thinking like a Black and Mild or something like that, And he goes, no, we're gonna smoke a real cigar, man cigar. So I'm like, okay. So he goes out, and the first cigar I ever smoked in my life was a Rocky Patel Decade, the 1990, and I enjoyed it to the point where I wanted to leave with like a bundle of them, from the guy. And when I got back, I was like, man, this is pretty cool. It just, for me, it gave me more of a soothing, some people say you get a sensation from a York peppermint patty. For me, I got the sensation from smoking a cigar. I was just like, it just made me relax, like I was like floating. So when I get back to Orlando, of course I had to go to the number one cigar place in the state of Florida, in my opinion. And that was Corona. And then so I went there, started smoking the Rocky Patel Decade 1990s again. And then I got introduced, a few weeks later to the number one customer of all of Corona's name is Paulie. And he saw me. He goes, man, I've been watching you, man. He goes, you really like them Rocky Patel Decades? I said, yes, sir. He goes, I got something I want you to try. I said, okay. So he hands me over a cigar. I look at it. It's a Padron 46. So I cut it, I light it, and I smoked it, and I looked at it. You ever smoked a cigar and it tastes so good, you look at it, Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So I'm staring at it like I'm a professional. I'm staring at dissecting the cigar. I'm like, wow, because it was a distinctive difference in the taste of both of those cigars. And so after that, I ended up going to try to buy two more, give him one back. He said, I didn't ask you for one. I gave you both, smoked both of them. And then about another week later, he says, I got something else I'm going to give you. And I perked up. I was ready now. And it was a Padron 80 year. And the Padron 80
Oh,
year, that literally is my favorite cigar.
yeah.
And so from that particular time, that was my go-to cigars. I got $35, $36 smoke, and I try to smoke two of them a day back then. And the next thing is back in those days, the Avo, the Corona San Lake, the headquarters store, it was now it's Drew Estate Lounge, but it used to be the Avo Lounge. So
Yeah.
Mr. Avo would be out there, and so I got really really close with Mr. Avo to the point where one of us would bring him to the shop and everything like that. But one of the days, just sitting outside with him, he goes, Howie. I said, yeah, Pop, what's going on? He goes, you should be in the cigar business. And I looked at him like he was speaking Chinese to me, and I was like, me? Why me? He said, because you love people like I love people. I said, damn, that he hit me with that. I said that makes sense. Well, he ended up passing away that following year. And so we had his celebration of life in the parking lot of Corona. And he had sold the company to Davidoff, Arvo. He sold Arvo to Davidoff. So they put on a beautiful thing out there for us. And then after that, the idea went back away once he passed. He's the one that kind of like planted the seed. Well, about another 6 months later, one of my really close friends and brothers, Alex Menendez, out of Miami, comes to Orlando. He sees me. We meet at Corona, and he goes, "Bro, you're the mayor here." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what they call me." He goes, "You ever thought about making a cigar?" And I paused, bro. I literally paused and stopped, and I looked at him, and he looked at me like I was like something was wrong. I was like, "Man," I said, "Man, that's what Arvo, man." I said, "That's one of the last things Arvo told me." He said, "Dude, did you forget my brother owns 50% of the factory in Nicaragua? We produce like 10 to 12 million cigars, bro." He's like, "You're my brother. We can do this." So now the whole excitement came back. Like, okay, well, Alvo told me we can probably make this happen type scenario. And I ended up really focusing on trying to make something that I thought that could get me off of buying 2 to 3 Padron 80 years a day. I wanted to try to make something that could get me off of that from on that particular like habit. And so I came up with the Black Moses Maduro. And I said, you know what? This is something that I could really do something with. This is something I think I could sell at a better price point for the masses. Also, younger individuals that's getting into the cigar business that don't have to be led to something that's, you know, sweet or flavored or something like that to stay in a reasonable price point, and then so we went with that. So that was my whole beginning phase of how I got started.
Okay.
So rumor has it you might have played some sports at some colleges or some Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, I'm not the legend, guys. I have the legends. I'm not the legend. I played football. I played linebacker. I did not play in the league. So when you come in from that standpoint, I'm like the guy I kind of want to be the owner,
There
not
you
the
go.
athlete. That is kind of my mindset. But yeah, I enjoy football. I love football. Um, but my father he wasn't too thrilled with me running my head and smashing it at 20 miles an hour when he produced his lawyers and doctors and stuff like that. And he said he didn't want me to continue to mash up my head. That was his words, not mine. So at the end of the day, I said, you know what, Pop, that makes sense. And so I started trying to get into the world of the business world more than that because back then, I was seeing a lot of guys that were having major issues once the thrill was over. You know what I mean? That 10, 12, 15 years of, fame and having a great time. Everybody is not having a great rest of their afterlife
Yeah.
after football.
Mhm.
When you started looking at the way the concussions started happening, what I mean, some of the greatest linebackers I ever watched, you know, to see a guy like, rest in peace to Junior Seau, man. That
Oh,
man was a dog, man.
yeah.
But to see that he couldn't take it anymore with the massive headaches and pounding and migraines and stuff like that he was like, I don't even want to be here no more. And so when you start looking at that, I was like, hell, I'm 5'9". I was like 220. I was like, man, it's, it's not in the cards for me, but I'm gonna stick to my business side and continue my relationships and my and with my relationships do business that way.
Yeah.
And that was my thing. Yeah.
So how did you become such a big Hurricanes fan? I heard you love the Hurricanes. So how?
Wow. Wow. Listen, bro,
That's on him. That's on him. That's on
that
him.
is so disrespectful.
Oh,
Raul, I thought we was cool. Man.
Wow.
Well, to correct Raul, ladies and gentlemen, I am a Florida State Seminole. I was born. Well, my cousin played for. Yeah.
There
But,
you go.
well, we haven't done that this year yet. I've been getting killed, bro. It's been sad.
It's been a rough year.
It's bad, man. I've never seen this in my life. Listen, I almost shed a tear when we lost to Duke. Like we
Ooh,
lost to
that's
Duke.
bad.
We've never lost to Duke in my whole entire life. Like Duke, that's a basketball school.
That's a basketball school.
We lost to Duke. Man, right? I think that night I drank a whole bottle of tequila. That's bad, bro. It's bad. Because the difference with me is I'm one of those real fans. I'm not one of those fans that like, oh, your team is doing good. Okay, now I'm on the team. No, I'm with you. I'm loyal to the end.
Ride or die.
I'm ride or die with us. And so the problem is everybody is not like I am. Some people they have teams that their favorite team, but they don't really talk about it. But they really jump on your team when your team lose, right? So it's like, okay,
I know those haters.
yeah.
Haters.
So they do that with me with Florida State and Dallas. The Cowboys lost last night. I woke up this morning. I had between 350 messages between Facebook, Instagram, and personal text messages. Like that kind of stuff, bro. Like I'm like, really? You guys are happy with your life that much that you're that bored that you're really taking pleasure. At least, if you want some money from me, let that. Okay, I get that. Willie Moranti. Okay, cool. Javi Command. They're good. They real Miami fans. I'm cool with that. But these other fly-by-nights finding their ways to get in the. I'm like, man, I'm a real fan.
Bandwagon.
Listen. Florida State hurt me very to the core. But at this point, guys, I just gotta let it go.
Yeah.
And let them do their thing.
Do you know how many Dodger fans came out and text me all of a sudden out of nowhere when the Yankees started this series, especially when they lost a few games? Oh my goodness, it's been ridiculous.
Yeah. People who
did you see when Ice Cube came out?
Yes.
Yeah.
New York.
Oh, yeah, that was ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you didn't like that, bro.
Did not at all, but it is what it is. But like you said, ride or die.
I'm ride or die. I gotta take it. I gotta take it, right? Yep. But I will say this though. You saw my ex-Florida State Heisman Trophy winner, Jameis Winston, beat Baltimore Ravens.
That nobody expected that.
No interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 330 yards passing.
Yeah.
That just shows you how much the guy he replaced, I won't say his name because I don't like him very much. He should never come back. They should just roll with Winston.
Hell, at this point, well, I'll take Winston in Dallas. Hey, I'm just saying, right now, bro, I'm just saying, listen, send that to Cleveland, give us Jameis, because Jameis only making $8 million this year. We could give Jameis a restructured contract, give him about 20, 25 million a year. He'll be happy. And then we can turn around and put some pieces around the Cowboys and do something. But that's a whole nother story.
I think about all of the 32 NFL teams and who everybody has on their depth chart at quarterback. I can't think of one team that if, let's say, Dak was available like today, I cannot think of one single team that would be desperate. I mean, teams would think about it and talk about it, a couple teams, but I can't think of one that would be so desperate and gung-ho to get him in as their starter that they would have Jerry on speed dial trying to get Dak traded over to their squad. I can't think of any.
There's a few. Miami Dolphins are doing it in a heartbeat. The Oakland Raiders was doing it in a heartbeat. The New York Giants were doing it in a heartbeat.
Jets.
Those three teams, huh?
The Jets.
The Jets are not going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers for him.
Spending too much money on Rodgers. And,
you mean Coach Rodgers?
Coach
no,
Rodgers.
but listen, but Dak gets more than Rodgers. Rodgers is getting $53 million this year. Dak just signed 60 a year for 4 years.
Yeah, it was a great investment. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Listen. I can't even argue with you, Matt. I can't argue with you. You beat us by 20 in the playoff game at home at our house.
Yeah, that was.
I can't argue with you, man.
And we all went to Reds and sat down and watched that Cowboys Packers wild card game last year. Yeah. And I sat down expecting the Cowboys to win by like 13 or maybe 17.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did not expect any of that to happen. I don't think I think the players on the team even were just the Green Bay team. They were like, what? I don't know what's happening right now, but it's great. And we're just going to keep rolling. But it was just completely, the Cowboys were completely off balance.
You had a player I never heard of him until that game. His last name was Savage.
Darnell Savage. Yeah.
Savage reminded me of my boy Nick Collins. That's who Savage reminded me of. Yep. He looked like Nick the Pick. Just taking, I was like, oh my God. It was terrible. Terrible, man. It was, oh man. I just hope while I'm a grown man and I can afford to go, that, the good Lord would give me an opportunity to see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl live. Because when that happened last time, granted, I was in 6th grade, man. I was in 6th grade in 95, man. The only funny thing I have from that Super Bowl is that year was one of the years that Leon Searcy, that was his 4th year with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So that was his last game in a Steelers uniform, was getting beat by my Cowboys. And then Jacksonville paid him to come over there and be the right tackle for a left-handed Mark Brunell.
Yeah.
So whenever he gives me those jabs, I say, if you would have been a Cowboy, you would have had 3 Super Bowls to go with your 3 national championships. I said, but other than that, I have nothing else to really say. He's like, if I see what's the quarterback name? He said, if I see him in the street, Howie, I'm gonna put him in a full Nelson. Neil O'Donnell.
O'Donnell, yeah. Well, how did you, how'd you get to know Leon and Ike, and how did they become like? Because they're like, I mean, they're part of Howard G Cigars. They're part of the culture of Howard G Cigars, and how did you get to know those guys, and how did that sort of become them being part of your brand?
Great question. So everybody knows that I always would be at Corona Sand Lake. That's literally known as my house. So I would be there a lot. It's been like 16, 17 years now, guys. So all my guys would introduce me to different individuals when we're out and all kind of stuff like that. And they're like, man, hey, Howie always got cigars with him, just cigars in general, because I always love to smoke a cigar. And then I got introduced to Leon by a mutual friend, Prentice, Big P is what his name is, and he was actually one of Leon's childhood teammates in high school. And so when he introduced me to big fella, we smoked a whole bunch of cigars and we had a lot of fun. We drank a lot of liquor, we smoked a lot of cigars. But what was cool is Leon, he gave the best stories. Like, I honestly believe he has the best voice in the world now after James Earl Jones just passed away. Because when he gets to telling those stories, I mean, it captivates everybody. Like, he never met a stranger, by the way. So when he sits down with him, he starts talking about football, he'll just sit there and have a conversation with you. Like, time doesn't matter. He'll tell you the stories, and the people love it. And so I'm one of those guys that I like making sure the people have a good time. You know what I mean? I hang out, and I'm a man of the people. So with him being the exact same way, you know, we would go to Corona and grab a bottle and sit at the table, and we would have a group of people around us, and we would just ridicule each other. We would just like talk about football. He's dissing Florida State. I'm dissing Miami. You know, he dissed Dallas. I'm dissing Pittsburgh. I'm dissing the Jaguars. But people loved it, and they really, it gave them a sense of like, all right, this is not just a guy that was just on TV. He played really well or whatever. Man, this man, we got something in common. We all love this leaf, this piece of tobacco that's amazing, you know, and we smoke and have a good time because we don't smoke. We're not in a rush. It's not a cigarette. We're not like in a rush, and we're not like on jitters or whatever. We're hanging out. We're having a good time, and so Leon was, I mean, the greatest at that. To the point now, his radio station in Jacksonville is top 20 in the United States. And people call in all across the country to ask questions because they want to hear from the big sirs.
Yeah.
So that's his thing, his niche. Now, I'm a lot younger than Leon on the Richter scale of aging, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have never, if I played in the league, it would have never been the same time as him, you know, because, like I said, when he lost the Super Bowl to my Cowboys, I was in 6th grade. So technically, there's a big brother, little brother relationship.
Yeah.
Now, my relationship with Ike is totally different. Me and Ike are only 3 years apart. So we're way closer in age, but Ike, on the other hand, is like a whole nother creature. Like, the way he do things, he's exercising wise. Like, the guy's gonna run 7 miles a day type stuff. When you're gonna do abs and workout, he's gonna do 2,000 sit-ups and stuff like that. Like, everything he does it to like the extreme. But when we get together and we have a ball, I bring him out of the shell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I'll get things popping, and if I get it popping, he's gonna roll with me. And so we have our relationship. He's like my other big brother, but he feeds off of me like that. Where in Leon's just a big old school player, sit there like in the chair. You know, he's not gonna move for nothing.
Yeah.
But he'll talk to you and have a whole conversation. So our dynamics are different. But the cool thing about it is like, we all 100% are real deal cigar lovers.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Because I've turned down some high profile names because I never want to lie to the consumer. I would never want to make a cigar. I give you guys an example. My favorite football player of all time is Deion Sanders. I'm a Florida State fan. So my Magic Stick, if you look at the Magic Stick, colors is the Florida State colors. So the box it comes in is a 21 count box, 3 rows of 7. The reason that is because Prime is my favorite player.
Yeah.
So now I know Prime don't smoke cigars. I know that. I know he doesn't drink either. But I put me on FaceTime with him.
Oh, nice.
And we talked and stuff like that. He still don't smoke a cigarette. He said, but if a team go to the national championship, send him some cigars, he'll make sure the players get a chance to smoke it. You know what I mean? But there's other people that really don't smoke. Somebody reached out to me from Floyd Mayweather's camp. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to make a cigar for the money team. But let's be real. I'll never do it because Floyd would never smoke or drink. So I don't care about your camp, my consumers, if I tell them this cigar is made for Floyd Mayweather and he's never going to smoke it, how was it really made for Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that I want to make sure my all pros or my influencers, you have to be a real cigar smoker. Like it can't be no, I want to smoke a cigar once a month type deal. That's not worth it for us. To put that much sweat, equity, and time into it, it got to be for real. And that's one of the things that I love about my guys, man. I got somebody that you Matt would be excited about that I'm going to be doing something with in the process.
Okay,
we played for that team. He played for that team.
Does he smoke? Does he smoke on YouTube? Usually after he gets off ESPN.
Nah, he's one of those cheeseheads.
Yeah, I know.
We'll talk about that after we get off the air. We'll talk
about it after air.
You don't have to reveal it on the air until you're ready. But yeah, we'll talk about that off the air because I'm super interested in that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I really enjoyed, because we first encountered you at PCA 3 years. I was 2021, pretty sure.
Yes.
And getting to know you and Circe, and then the following we didn't get to meet Ike that first year. I don't think he was there, but the following year we got to sit down with you and Ike and talk for a while. And yeah, you can see it. Those guys there's always, that, and the trade show, you smoke a lot of cigars. It's a trade show, but they're always there, cigar in hand. And, you're totally right about that. Circe he's a big man. But he's also a big personality, and he is, so the funny thing is I thought when I first met him, I immediately thought about the movie Goodfellas, and they were talking about when they were first talking about the family, when the lead guy who's doing the narration talking about the family, and he starts talking about the Don, he starts talking about Big Paulie, and he said Paulie didn't move fast only because Paulie didn't have to move for anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's what, as soon as I met Circe, I was like, that's Paulie. It's like he doesn't, he's a nice guy. He's loyal. He's down to earth. He'll sit and talk cigars with you. He'll sit and talk sports with you. He'll sit and talk life with you, but he doesn't have to move for anybody. And he's comfortable just in his own skin with a cigar and mm-hmm. even in a room with no conversation, he's comfortable with that, if that's the vibe of the room at the time.
Yes.
And I really appreciated that about him. And then Ike, he got into the talk about him being a health nut. And yeah, the dude is insanely dedicated when it comes to his workouts and what he does. And I think a lot of people who, even a lot of cigar smokers, but especially people who are not cigar smokers, they just assume that, cigar smokers are, lazy and overweight, like I am lazy and overweight. But there's a lot of people I know that are super look at Mike from Cigar Hustler in Postania.
Yeah, that's my boy, Big Mike.
That dude is a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, Big Mike.
His arms are bigger than my waist. and his biceps are probably bigger than my waist. Well, not my waist. My waist is pretty damn big, actually. But and then you got guys like Dan Welsh from Tatuaje, and you got guys like Ike. They're workout fiends. They absolutely are obsessed with working out, and they still enjoy, 5 or more cigars a day in some cases.
Yeah.
And so it's the whole thing about, that cigars are not what most people out there in the world think they are.
Yep.
They're absolutely. Cigars are not cigarettes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's not cigarettes, and it shouldn't even be in the same classification. It's not vapes. It's not any of that.
It's in a league by its own. It should be in a league by its own.
It really should be, and it's a beautiful craft. It's a workmanship. It's a work of art that you get a chance to smoke and enjoy.
Fiction.
You know what I mean?
We were talking when Raleigh first got here, we're talking about Pulp Fiction, how much we love that movie, and the line, about ain't even the same ballpark, ain't the same fucking league, ain't even the same fucking sport. And cigars are like that when it comes to all other tobacco products. It's not even the same fucking sport.
You don't see a community around cigarette smoking or chewing or vaping. You have a community around cigars. You have cigars. We've talked about it before. It opens up a community and it brings people in. It doesn't push people away,
Well, it makes you have a conversation. And one of the things I love is guys would get off of work 5 o'clock. I would know they're going to be at Corona by 5:30, 5:45, the latest, because of traffic on Sand Lake, right? The guy would come in, grab a cigar, grab a double scotch, sit there, smoke the cigar, have a double scotch, and then go home because you got to go home for dinner, and then go to bed because you got to wake up early because you have to be at work at like 5 a.m. But look forward to getting off again just to come right back and sit right down and do the exact same thing. And I had a buddy, his name was Steve. He just retired, and I made him a personal. I told this guy because he knew me way before I was into making cigars, and he would do that every single day. He had a great, nice job for Lockheed Martin, and but he told me, I said, man, bro, give me a year before you're gonna retire, and I'm gonna throw you a party at Corona. He was like, really, Harry? I said, just give me a year before you retire. He told me, he gave me a year. So the day that he was his last day at work at Lockheed Martin, I threw him a party at Corona, and I gave him a Howard G humidor with 50 cigars in it, and then it also had his own bands. It was a different blend that we just did just for him. He liked big ring gauges, like 6x60s and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I gave him 2 bundles of 25 each, so he could have 100. But I had that there, 2 bottles of champagne and a bottle of scotch. And I mean, I said, now listen, you ain't leaving in an hour, but people are going to support you. We're going to have a good time with you. And he hung out and had a great time. But you know what? The number one thing is, when I first started and I did an event at Sand Lake, he bought one of the, well, not even before my event, when the cigars was on the shelves, he bought one of the first boxes of the Magic Sticks. And matter of fact, he loved the Cameroon.
There you go.
But that's what he would do. And so, we're totally different in age. He's white guy, I'm black guy. Totally different genres of things we listen to and stuff like that. But the simple thing of the matter is, for all over those years, I knew for a fact I was going to catch him sitting over by that TV between 5:30 and 5:45. He's going to be at Corona, have his drink, and he's going to do that. And I know by 7 o'clock he's gone because he got to go home for dinner. And so we built an amazing relationship and friendship, and now he's retiring, so he's traveling and stuff like that, but he's still checking on me. I don't see him at Corona like that no more now because he's traveling and stuff like that. But it was just something for like 12 years straight, to the point if Lockheed sent him to do a job and he had to go to Dallas or wherever and go for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I was like included in his family. He's like, hey, Howie, you're not going to see me for 2 weeks now because I got to go to Dallas for work. That kind of scenario, because I knew where he was going to be. And so that stuff comes from just the relationships. It's kind of like your slogan, burn cigars, not bridges. You know what I mean? This cigar is a bridge for me.
Yeah.
That in my 17 years of smoking cigars, it's been nothing but a bridge. And 97% of the people that's closest to me in my life, I've met them through a cigar.
Yeah.
That's the God heaven's truth.
Yeah. There's something special about it. Now you kind of touched on it briefly toward the beginning of the conversation, but this is another thing we love learning about from, especially, younger up and coming cigar brands, because in the world of premium cigars, if you look across the places in the world where premium cigars are made, for the most part, Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Honduras, that kind of thing, there's a lot of options. If somebody out there wants to start a cigar brand, there's so many options out there for places to have them made and people to help with the blending and all that stuff. So with all those choices in mind, you went down the road you went. Why did you choose what you chose when it came to having your cigars made and knowing that they were going to be right?
Honestly, Matt, I went that way because of my relationship.
Yeah.
You know, like I said before, you know, I went ahead and when Avo told me what he told me, then he passed away, what he told me kind of went through one ear, out the other. After you know, he was gone, you know, I wanted to, like, you know, sit down and talk more with him, you know, pick his brain. Like, that was one of the things I really wanted to do. Yeah. So I felt like, man, he just dropped the seed in there, but, you know, he's gone now. So I'm like, you know, I left it like that. It was Alex that came and kind of like just, you know, put the fire on everything. And so when he did that, you know, the privilege that I had working with him was the fact that I know for a fact I was getting great tobacco.
Yeah. I
wasn't a number to them. And a lot of times, you know, it's sad because you have people now, and especially, you know, when you don't know what you're doing and you're not, sometimes people don't want to go through a process, fellas. They kind of just want to, like, well, he got a cigar, I want to have a cigar too, type thing. So now, you know, people are doing stuff like buying house blends and putting personal wrappers on it. And then you go try to go talk to a place like Corona and want to get in there. And then, you know, Jeff is not going to just say, oh, it's a cigar, let's bring it in. No. Right. He's going to give a questionnaire. He's going to ask where you're buying the fillers, wrappers, what type of, he wants to know everything. Then he's going to want a lot of product because he has 5+ stores, and then he has tobacconists at every store. So then he's going to shoot them out to those different guys, and then he's going to have them smoke it, and they're going to give him a questionnaire, and they're going to ask you, okay, what did you, on this day, I want you to smoke this cigar on this day, smoke this one on this day, this one on this day, on a fresh palate. And then they're going to give you a questionnaire. That's what a company of that magnitude is going to do. They have to. It's not a mom and pop store. They run a huge operation. And so when you have people that are just winging it and don't know what the heck they're doing, you know, it just makes it bad for the industry. If you're not going over there to Nicaragua, to Dominican Republic, if you're not going to Honduras, and knowing and seeing what's going on, then you're really not, you know, just you're not really on that level of seriousness, in my opinion, because that's what I had to do. You know, I had to do that. You just can't sit down and watch videos of Nick Perdomo telling you about factories. You know, my goal was to get, you know, half of the factory making cigars just for Howard G. Right now, I got like 30. I gotta get the goal is to get half. You know what I mean? If we get half, then I think we'll be cooking with some real serious grease, baby.
There you go.
Be real serious.
So how many shops are you in now? And are you just in the U.S. right now? Or are you out any places outside of the U.S.?
Yes. So we're last time I checked, we're at 150 accounts. Okay. And the reason why is because I want to make sure I have a personal relationship with you know, right now at this particular stage. And what really does it for me is the shows. You know, I choose to invest wisely, and I believe the shows do a lot for us. The shows do a lot, specifically PCA, because it's not just whether I'm meeting them at the show, but it's the meeting after the meeting. I do a lot of business at the Circle Bar.
Amen. Yeah, after hours is invaluable.
Man. Oh, yeah. Listen, I got buddies out there that will cuss me out if they're like, "Well, why are you not here, man?" Because because I do be gambling. I be on the slot machines and the Venetian. I be in the slot machines, bro. I mean, I be in there getting, but no, Salim, Salim, that used to be with Drew Estate, and one of my really good friends, he would call me, where the hell are you? I'm over here smoking at the Circle Bar. Get your ass over here. That's how he talks to me. John Carney, Javi Carenza with Placencia. That's what they would do. And, they would personally introduce me to large accounts that they have across the country that don't get a chance to come to the middle section where we're at because they already have appointments when they get there. Day one, I have an appointment. This is my appointment schedule. This is the appointment schedule. This is the appointment schedule. All right, so there's some boutique brands. All right, we want to find out about them. But if you going to sit down with Rocky, you finna give him a couple $100,000 order. You're not rushing to do that. You're gonna sit down. They're gonna wine and dine you. You're gonna drink the expensive stuff, and you're gonna sit down and relax. And that's why those brands that spending $500,000 plus on their booth, they got live bands there. They have, they got all kinds of stuff. They sitting you there. You're not coming in and leaving real fast. You're gonna relax. And then think about Opus. If you're blessed to have a direct account with the great Fuente, because they had a sign up the last 2 years, not accepting new customers. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, of course, only Padron is Padron. So if you got those people that they're meeting with right there, that takes a while. So what my buddies have been doing who are in management or high-level reps for these large brands, they're introducing me to the decision makers outside of the actual working hours when we're having a drink.
Yeah.
And those guys are then saying, man, I've been hearing about this Black Moses. Or, well, do you have a white Moses? I say, actually, I do. It's called the Black Moses Blanco. Like, I'm like already ready. So I go in my bag and I handle it. They would turn around and smoke right then and there. And then when they smoke right then and there, they're like, man, I'll give you, all right, let's do it. I'll do an order. I say, listen, I ain't persistent. You don't got to give me you don't got to give me a 100K order. Give me 15,000 to start and I'll do an event. And they're like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Now it's my job, guys. It's my job when I get to that event to do my thing. And I'm gonna do it now. And then I leave out of there, then I'm gonna get another reorder on the way out. So that's I'm cool with that, taking that step. Yeah. My goal is just being consistent and building the brand the way we want to build it, which is thinking about the consumer, thinking about the people that we hang out with, that we want to socialize with, and just being true to who we really are. Yeah. I'm not going to act like somebody I'm not. Listen, I like to have a great time, but I really care about the people I deal with. And I want to make sure that, I don't want a sympathy order. I want to make sure that that stuff is going to
You want a relationship. You want a relationship.
I want to build that relationship. And so that's where we're at. Now the hardest thing is people want to try to get Ike to do events and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, now we can work that out. But, those guys' schedule are different, especially during football season. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Ike's a scout for the Steelers. So, like, I just talked to him before I got on the podcast. So when I leave here, I'm gonna go hang out with him, smoke one, and have a drink because tomorrow he's off to Pittsburgh because they're playing right now on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They got to do the watch film and practice. And then I'll catch back with him later. Same thing with Big Surse. Surse is in Jacksonville, but every Jacksonville Jaguar game, once that game is over, an hour and a half when the game is finished, he has to do the post game. You know what I mean? So like. They're very hands-on and very direct in with the company, but when it's football season, it's definitely hard to get them. Now, of course, Coronas and stuff like that we can get them because we live right here. But trying to schedule the flights and all that kind of stuff and things is doing different. But they want to be at the events. They want to kick it with the people. Yeah. Abe just reached out to me a few weeks back to make sure I was cool with being at this the Great Smoke. I was like, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
He says, well, what about the fellas? I said, well, give me a second. Let me find out. Leon responded right back. I'll be there. I said, what's the dates? I gave him the dates. He said, let me get clearance from the Steelers that they're not going to have me doing, because if I'm good, I'm going to definitely be there. You know what I mean? So they want to be a part of it, meeting the people, smoking with them, taking pictures with them. They're just as happy as the people are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you play sports, it's like out of sight, out of mind. You know, all right, they're retired, they're going, they're going. But when they're sitting there talking, it's nothing more important to me than Leon telling you about the big source. You know what I mean? That is hilarious when he talks about the big source. You know, and then when Ice talking about the one of a kind, he lets them know. You know, that's Sumatra. The Sumatra was his favorite rappers out of the 40 that we started with him.
Yeah.
And he went through the process. And so he says, man, now when we went through the blends, it's a proprietary Nicaraguan blend, but you know, I'm a stiller. That's how he talks. He says, so I needed something that did something for Pittsburgh or that I can say that has something to do with my Stiller Nation. So guess what? That's where the 20% Lancaster tobacco comes from in that blend. That is from the Amish. That's Pittsburgh, you know, that's Pennsylvania. And so that's a story that is accurate, but that's his story.
Yeah.
And so now, so the people, when they talk to him and he's breaking it down, they're like, wow, that's crazy, man. Wow.
Yeah.
And so
it's more than just having some factory make some random blend and then having a band printed and slapping it on there.
Yeah, my guys are not like the other guys.
Right.
You know, we don't have to say names, but there's other guys that I find out they just get paid to be there for 2 hours. So they show up to the event and it's like, all right, I'm on the clock and the clock starts now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, only if they buy a box, I'm going to take a picture and sign it. Other than that, I'm just going to look here and smoke cigars. Nah, I mean, it feels like it doesn't even feel authentic. When I do events, Ike and Leon, we got a bottle of what they're gonna drink. 2 bottles, you know, because they might drink something separately, right?
Yeah.
We have a bottle, and they have their personal cigars that's already ready for them. They have a whole lineup for whatever we want to smoke. Now, y'all sit down and have a good time. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this product. Now we run all kind of specials. I got all types of swag. You know, this is the one of a kind Ike hat here I have on. You know, the people love this type of stuff. I have all types of swag and everything. And then, yes, any box purchase can get an autograph. Ike doesn't have to sign the box that says one of a kind. If you want the Black Moses, but you want Ike to sign it, hell, he'll sign it. He don't care.
Yeah.
They're part of the company. So that's what we do. We move them, and then the music is going. They're having a good time. You know, and the people are having a good time and they're hanging out and they're having fun. And they say, well, damn, man, we can't wait till the next event. You know, I just did one for Corona Lake Mary real quick. I did a quick one. I put it together in like 2 weeks. It was in the Lake Mary store. It was a ticketed event. And I had one of my personal partners that has, he's like the top, he's one of the top in barbecue in Central Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And so we did a ticketed event. It came with a choice of a front nine or a back nine. It came with you can get ribs, chicken, macaroni, baked beans, and then Corona gave you a drink.
Hell of a deal.
Nice.
And so sold a ton of tickets. But you know what's happening though? Now the guys are saying, hey, you know, you did that at Lake Mary, but you got to do it at Sand Lake because you crushed it. But that's what's happening because people are looking at. You know, one thing about Jeff, he sends the camera crew. You know, he sends the camera crew to wherever I'm doing an event at, and they do it and they do it up and the people see it and they say, hey, we're gonna have a ball, and I'm gonna make sure that the people understand that we appreciate their time.
Yeah.
And so we have a good time and we want to make sure that we just show love to the people that show love to us.
Absolutely.
Well, it sounds like we gotta get you up here to show you some love.
Yeah,
we gotta get you up to Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
Okay, so I've been there before. I'm cool with coming back, but it gotta be when it's not that cold, bro.
No,
my bones ain't like that, man.
Yeah, this season's already passed, but next summer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
So you told us a little bit about how you got into business. Can you tell us some of your mentors that helped you out once you started and got you going?
Absolutely.
Whether it was blends or selling or whatever.
I'm going to tell you this. I talk to, when it comes to blends, I talk to, well, number one, Alex, but I also talk to my master blender, Lolito, who is like, he's like the uncle of AJ. You know what I mean? So like their whole life is tobacco, like their whole life. And so like he was really able to break down a lot of things for me on the different aging processes that we want to go through. What I want to, the type of quality, the type of angle I wanted to be at, right? That he was extremely and still is extremely instrumental. Now my perfect round comes from the DR, and so my buddy there is just amazing. Chris, he's amazing because to have a factory and to be able to do what he's doing at a younger age than myself, and to take his parents' factory and take it to the next level, I have none but the utmost respect for. And so, but the stuff that they're doing for me is different, and it's getting me exactly. I mean, I'm a little anal at times, guys. I'm not lying. I say I want these different things, and then I sit there and I'm like, that ain't it, Doc. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's try a little bit more, and they're cool with it because I can't literally put something out there that I don't agree with, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so I have to do it that way. Now, when it comes to my athletes, I'm 100% off. It's 100% them, because they're the celebrities. They're the ones that people will know their name and just buy it and try it. And I will only care about them saying that's their favorite blend and that's their favorite cigar. So now when they're telling a consumer, if you like this, you like my palate. If you don't like it, that's fine, but at least they can say this is my palate and this is the process of making it.
Yeah.
I like that angle for myself. Now, when it comes to reps that I have a lot of respect for and are really great friends of mine, John Carney, I love Carney to death. Carney, amazing guy. Joker, he sure know how to cook some steak too, man. I picked up some of his weight eating steak with him too. But Carney, like I said, Javier Carranza with Placencia. That's family. He comes to Orlando. He comes to my house and eat at the table. Like
nice.
that's my brother. He FaceTimes me with more than anybody, with different athletes and different celebrities. It's like, oh, this is my brother Howard G. Blah blah blah. I have nothing but love for Javi. And my third one would be Willie Moranti. He comes to my house too. Now Willie's a little nut. He's the wildest of all of them, But he's a little wild one. But honestly, when I say he's family, those guys right there, those guys I have nothing respect for. Because I always respect the guys that they've done it in the fields, right?
Yeah.
So when you watch a person's work ethic, and all three of them, hey Howie, I'm about to go on this 1 week flight and a trip to here, and we're gonna drive from here to here. You want to join me? And I'd be having to tell them man, I wish you would have gave me a little bit longer notice because I'm in the process of I come up with the products. I come up with the design. I'm the one that signs off on everything. So I was like, I would love to. I've done a few with Hobby though. We had some fun, but I haven't been able to on that level because we're a much smaller brand than those companies right there. Where those guys they only have to worry about is selling product, right?
Right.
Sell.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't worry about sell, and outsell everything in the damn inventory. You know what I mean? It's got to still be replenished. I need more of this, more Black Moses, more of this, plus the new blends, plus the athletes that we're working with on different blends. Like, so I have to be there for that. So, but I respect all those guys. Now, when it comes to retailers, you know, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Abe. Abe,
Yeah.
Abe is a G. Abe, man, Abe. I had a hour meeting with him that turned into 2.5 hours, and the only reason he ended it is because his assistant kept telling him he's 30 minutes over, 45 minutes over, and the other people is waiting outside for him. And so for him to take that much time with me and go through everything, and he was like, okay, so I see how you did this. All right, so what are you thinking about with this? He took the time, and it meant a lot coming from a retailer.
Yeah.
Because now he's telling me what the hell I'm going to be able to do to make my product sell more in his 11 stores, or you know what I mean, through
Yeah.
his network. So loving but love for Abe, and then of course the original, my A1 day one, my boy Jeff with Corona. Jeff, Jeff FaceTime me and Tanya, Jeff and Tanya, because his wife
Yeah. Yeah.
Tanya, I love Tanya to death. That's my girl. But you know, they make sure when they come to the show, you know, they come straight over to the booth. Jeff, grab a cigar, let's take some pictures, everything like that, and get it out there. And then anything when he's talking to TAA people and stuff like that, and he always mention me. He'll shoot me a text or call me, or Tanya will definitely do it. Tanya was at my booth last year, and she was telling people, "Hey, come over here. You you need to come see." You know what I mean? Like, so stuff like that, man. It's only a blessing for people to have to believe in you, and want to see you grow. So
Yeah.
So do us one favor.
okay.
Tell us about your blends. I mean, we've talked a lot about them. We've smoked a few of them. Tell us about your blends. Give us a 5-minute, 10-minute synopsis of all your blends.
So
Start with the Black Moses.
So I have 4 Black Moses. So the number one seller is the Black Moses Maduro, and so that particular cigar we came out with because like I said, I love the Padron 80. That's my favorite cigar.
Yeah.
So with that, I was able to get 8 to 10 year age tobacco from the fellas from Casi Traza, which is Alex's brother's warehouse farm. And so with that, the aged tobacco is number one for us. But also on top of that, I wanted something that when you say Nicaraguan, a lot of people just say Nicaraguan, right? And then
Yeah.
across the board. But it's not just Nicaraguan. It's a breakdown of a certain percentage of jalapa, which is going to give you a lot of the flavor, but not a lot of the strength.
Right.
The Esteli is going to give you flavor, but it's going to give you, plus it's going to give you strength with Esteli as well. And then on some of the blends, we use some Ometepe, which I really like the Ometepe because that gives you a lot of that peppery notes. Where because the soil over there is a little different because that's where they had those like those volcanoes, eruptions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That
Yeah.
soil is so much, it's so spicy, so peppery, and so that's what I use with most of those blends over there. I do use some Pennsylvania as well, but the breakdown is just on how how it works to the taste of what we're looking for before we actually do it. So I have a lot of different blends of samples, where it's going to be more jalapa, more than Esteli, or more Ometepe and stuff like that. So we just go through them until we get the ones that we feel like, all right, that's it. So anything that happens with Black Moses or Magic Stick, I have final word on.
Yeah.
Anything that goes with All Pro Series, they have final word on, which is whether it's Ike or Leon. Um, and so that's those blends. Ike's blends, like I told you before, is 80% Nicaraguan, 20% Lancaster. with Sumatra wrapper. We let the cigars also sit for a minimum of 90 days, and so we have lot numbers. So, like for instance, let's say there's 25,000 Black Moseses that's ordered. Um, I know exactly how many of them are rolled at the particular time, right? So if they say, okay, here's the email, Howard, we have 15,000 of them that's already rolled and they're going to the aging, that all is in one lot number that we now I know. So
Yeah.
now on our office, we know lot number this went to rest on this particular date. So now we don't need them. They're not going to send the product until we allow them to send it.
Right.
Now they have 2 shipments every month, but we allow them. We say, okay, this one right here, lot number this. Can you send that one now? Because we know it's ready. Because when I get it, I want to get rid of it. I don't want to get it and just let it sit there, you know. So I want to get it to keep it going in the market. And now that we're releasing the Humi packs, that's been even better for us because a lot of smaller stores that don't have the inventory selection like the Coronas and the smoke-ins and stuff like that, they really like the Humi packs because they can turn around and get 4 Black Moseses, or get one of each Black Moses in the 4-pack and then turn around and try it. I think I got one of them here is like an example of something that we do. So we got the Black Moses Maduro, the natural, but it's the 4-pack. So if you're someone that never heard of the brand, you know, they want to say, well, let me try it out. So we have some with Black Moses with Maduro and natural, like it's 2 and 2. We have some that's just all Maduro, just all Blanco, just all the rest of them. Yeah. Now on the Magic Stick side, we have. Now the Magic Sticks, we have them like this, where it's the Connecticut. The Connecticut Gordo has been crazy ever since we released it. So the Magic Sticks looks like that with the Connecticut. And this is the Cameroon that you guys are smoking, but this is in the Gordo size, 6x60. So one of the other things is some lounges like the bigger ring gauges more because a person feel like they can smoke one cigar and hang out and relax or something like that. Where in me, I'm still gonna smoke more than that one in an hour and a half or 2 hours, but some guys are not. Then we have like we also make the Magic Stick and the Robustos for the packs, and the Robustos come 5 in the pack. But those are 30 minutes, 40 minutes top smokes.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be in that 5x52 range, Vitola, and so it's just we just try to give people opportunity. I don't want you to buy a 21 count box if you never heard of us before. That don't make logical sense. Go ahead and get your Humi pack. You can get 5 of the Robustos, or you can get 4 of the Gordos.
Yeah.
Try it out, and then from there you can turn around and say, okay, yeah, I really like that. Now I'll buy a box, or I'll get more. And last but not least, we have to soon release some Humi packs for our perfect round, which is our golf line. That's the only one currently out of the DR that we make, and that cigar has been doing really, really well for us. Nice. Because of that golf theme, that 52x7. The only issue I have with that is my guys that smoke fast, they complain that it's not getting them through the whole 9 holes. They're running out by hole 7.
If they're finishing a 52x7 before they get through 9 holes of golf, they're smoking too fast. I'm sorry, but damn.
But bro, that's how some of those guys are.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, no problem. No problem. I'm gonna give you that same 7, that same blend, but I'm gonna make it an option where we're gonna do it in a 58x7. So or a 60x7. Yeah. And then I said, now if that don't last you for 9 holes, then damn it, you need to smoke the Big Surf, because that will last your ass past that. Bear, what's up, baby? 18. I see my boy
Bear Duplessis, one of our good friends. Love that guy.
Oh man, I love Bear. Bear came down to Orlando and came to Corona and hung out with me then. And then he came and hung out with me after, man. So I got nothing but love for Bear, even though he's a Packer fan too. He didn't bust my chops though. He didn't bust my chops though. I appreciate that, Bear. But always love to talk to those guys too.
Oh yeah.
Is it time?
Do you think it? I think it's time.
I think it's time.
All right, guys. It is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos. And as always, Numero de los Muertos brought to us by our friends at Smoke Inn.
Honesty agree with the goat to tell you about Smoke Inn's Cigar of the Month Club. Every month, I personally handpick 5 premium cigars. Another great feature is our Double Down Club. With a simple check mark, you can get double this great selections every month and save $10. Every month, there's a special discount code where if you like any of the selections, you can get them at a special discounted rate for our Cigar of the Month Club members. We've made it super simple. All you gotta do is log into your account. There's a little green button there. If it's green, you're active. You want to take a break, going out of town, simply hit the button and you'll deactivate your membership. We get the stuff out on the 28th of every month. Our membership bills on the 28th, and we get every member's package out on the 28th if it's a shipping day. All delivered to your door for $34.95. 5 great reasons on what makes Smoking Cigar of the Month Club the best club out there. Check it out. Peace.
My man.
All right. Numero de los Muertos, episode 266.
So, Howard, if you haven't played this is how this works. He's got a weird number of deaths. It's the fan favorite.
It's weird
number of deaths.
It's weird as hell, but people love it.
We have to guess, you, me, and the other viewers, on what he's talking about.
Okay.
It's morbid, but it's fun.
It's morbid, but yeah. So, all right, the number this week is, on average, 4 people a year die from this worldwide.
Being a Cowboys fan.
No.
Ouch. Ouch.
Ouch.
Shoot a brother while he's down. God,
Damn. See, that was the Jets fan that said that, not the Packers fan, by the way.
And I was getting ready to say, being a Jets fan.
There you go.
We lose 40 a year.
So you said 4 people die in the United States or the whole world?
The whole world. On average, 4 people a year. And they have stats going back to the year 2000 on this. And during that time, on average, 4 people a year die from this worldwide.
Ant bites.
Did you see this one? Getting hit by a...
Not ant bites. Getting hit in the head by a broken baseball bat during an MLB game. No.
Yeah.
Watching the Yankees.
Oh.
Damn.
It's karma.
Oh, man. Hell.
Worldwide.
Because that's a small number when you think about...
It's a very small number.
Yeah.
It's a very small number.
Is it land or sea?
Land.
Okay.
Vehicles involved?
Vehicles are not involved.
All right.
Animal related?
It is not related to animals.
Okay.
It
related to food?
It can in some cases be considered a workplace accident, but not always.
Oh.
It is not food related.
Okay. Workplace.
In some cases, workplace accident, but not all cases.
Is it being crushed by something?
No. It is not construction related. It is not alcohol involved.
Yeah, if it's work related, can't handle alcohol.
It is. So we have somebody that's on the right track.
Sports or being stabbed by a forklift?
Thomas Darling. It is related to sports.
Okay, there we go. Sports.
Is it a football injury?
It is related to the game of American football.
Okay. That's how we get somewhere.
4 a year.
4
It's got to
a
be
year.
a heart attack.
No.
Well, I'm just gonna give it to you guys.
All right, concussion.
that it's so.
It's got to be heart related.
So this this study, which was a study done by, let me go back up here. Health issues in American football, a large study that was conducted by. Sorry, let me see who conducted the study. It was conducted by the College Football Association, actually. But it's studied football from, and this is specifically American football, or American style football, which the CFL falls under that, even though it's a different size of field and different rules and all that. But everything from, Pop Warner all the way up through professional football. And on average, unfortunately, throughout all age levels and skill levels, on average, there are 4 people who are considered direct fatalities due to football-related injuries, meaning the doctors and the forensic, investigators can link the cause of death directly to an injury that was sustained during a football contest. And they also say that there are likely, on average, somewhere between 8 and 9 indirect fatalities related to football-related injuries. And the vast majority of them are related to either the heart or the head.
Yeah.
And the heart is actually the heart is, a lot of people just immediately think, okay, a football injury that's going to be catastrophic is going to be related to a head injury. And actually, slightly more are heart related than they are head related, because there's so much stress put on the heart. During training, during warm-ups, during the actual in-game play, there's so much stress put on the heart, and that's they're directly related. Now, the good thing is about this stat is that, again, these numbers go all the way back to the year 2000, and those averages are or that number is averaged out across that entire 24-year span. The good news is that the worst numbers are further back. So the numbers have been getting better. The average over the last 4 years has been less than 1. It's been like 0.8 deaths, directly attributable deaths to football-related injuries in the last 4 years. Where it was, because there's better protective measures now. There's better, they have better ways to analyze players' cardiovascular systems and really get in there and deeply measure what kind of cardiovascular health they have, how healthy their heart is. Better helmets. They've got the Guardian helmets and all kinds of different things like that. Which, if players want to wear those and feel safer, I'd say I'm all for it. And while I don't necessarily agree with all the rule changes, especially in the NFL, I think some of the rule changes are positive as far as keeping players safer and things like that. But it's a dangerous game. It's one of those things that if people, you tell your sons if they're going to play that game, it's a dangerous game. You've got to be willing to, get yourself hurt, because it happens every day. And I don't care if we're talking about, seventh graders or some of the top tier players in the NFL today. At any moment, just one wrong twist, or one tackle where an ankle gets rolled up underneath somebody, it happens all the time. You just got to.
Happens every week, man.
It does.
Single week. Yeah. And you're right, David. The new kickoff, it sucks, because now you now have to announce if you want to do an onside kick.
That's
you
ridiculous.
don't announce when you want to do an onside kick.
So what are we going to do next year? Do you have to announce when you're going to do a flea flicker or an end around?
Exactly, right. They got to get rid
or
of
a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
People know if you're going to do a Hail Mary based on how much time's left on the clock and where field position and score and all that. But yeah, that whole this year's kickoff rules are it's one of the worst rules that any professional sports league has ever implemented.
Yep.
It's just moronic.
Yeah. 100%.
All right, so that was this week's Numero de los Muertos. All right, it is time to reveal this week's Spirit of Mystery. As you can see, there's barely any left in the glass. Brought to us by Post On Your Cigars, of course. This was a pretty nice pour. Not one of my favorites, but I do really enjoy it. It's just a good bourbon. There's good natural sweetness to it. It's, just like a high proof bourbon should. It got a little smoother as things went on. The funkiness that I got in the beginning kind of dissipated and wasn't nearly as, pronounced as it was before. But this is a bourbon that, I thought was pretty good, and I wouldn't have any issues enjoying this bourbon again.
Do you feel like you've had that before?
It does taste familiar, but I'm having a hard time landing on a.
You've had it at my house.
Distillery. I've had it at your house. Mm-hmm. Well,
no, that's not.
That doesn't narrow it. That doesn't narrow it down a whole lot. Is it a Stag product?
No,
it's not a Stag product. Shoot. It's got so much sweetness to it that the sweetness is almost making me wonder if it's a wheated bourbon, but I don't know. I think the proof is too high for it to be a wheated bourbon unless you got your hands on some. Well, no, I would have had it at your house, and I don't think I've had any high proof wheated bourbons at your house.
It's not a Penelope.
Not a Penelope.
Penelope's good. Penelope is good now. That blue bottle.
Oh,
the Rio?
Penelope's good.
That's the blue. Is that the blue bottle?
I think that's the Rio. I can't find it anywhere. I've been trying to get it from him.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
Is it a? My brands. Mm-hmm. I don't. I'm gonna make a fool of myself by saying this, but I don't think this is in my top 2 brands. I don't think it's a Four Roses product, and I don't think it's an Old Forester product.
No. It's not Buffalo.
But it does taste familiar.
I don't think it's a Buffalo Trace. No, it's not. Product.
And it's not Stag. I don't know. You got to tell me. It's George Dickel. Okay.
Special George Dickel.
Collaboration blends. Oh, wow. Leopold Brothers, 3-chamber, 100 proof. This tastes hotter than 100 proof. But
the last time we had the poker game, I had it out.
Columns. I don't know if I had any. I was only drinking beers that night because we were playing poker. I wanted to keep my head to play cards. I didn't want to fuck my. I do usually. Column still and 3-chamber still, blend of straight rye whiskeys. This was really sweet for a rye. I mean, this did not have that, like, maybe that was that funk I was getting at the beginning, but this did not have like spiciness like you get a lot of the time from rye. But that's a nice pour. I don't think I had any at that game because, like, I brought some beers and I wanted to kind of keep my mind right while I was trying to play cards. All right, so that was this week's Spirit of Mystery. Let's jump into the lightning round, and that is brought to us by J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and the American J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 113-year-old El Reloj cigar factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right, Howie. So these are some quick, fun, non-cigar related questions for you.
Okay, let's do it.
If you were about to get into a fight,
okay,
what would your soundtrack music be?
Mystical.
Oh, that's a first time answer, but what a great answer.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. I love that. All right, so you want to hit the okay.
So Howard, what is the most overrated fast food chain and what's the most underrated fast food chain out there?
Oh, that's a great question. The most overrated, I think the most overrated is McDonald's.
Okay.
I think the most underrated is Checkers.
So, all right, I haven't had Checkers, but I've had Rallies, and I think isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, same. Here, down here in Florida, it's Checkers, but up north is Rallies. But you have the same burgers.
Yeah, it was, and I haven't had it because I grew up in Indiana, and we had Rallies in Indiana. We don't have them up here in Minnesota, but okay. I had it a bunch when I was in high school in Indiana. And I love that place. The fries, I mean,
the fries. That was my first job, bro. Literally, as soon as I turned 15, like the manager, the general manager was a friend of the family's, so I was instantly hired.
Nice.
And man, like when I got to do the grill and I was able to season my burgers the way I wanted to season them and things like that. Oh man, bro, I had a ball. But those fries are deadly. Those fries. Oh man, those fries. But yeah, their headquarters is in Tampa, believe it or not.
Oh no way! I didn't know that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it if we could get them up here, but it's because they're all drive-through only, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't have they have a couple. There's one here in Orlando off of iDrive that you have the ability to go inside. It's like one of the biggest ones.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it's they didn't have the proper marketing or the team or whatever. But like I would put Checkers above. If I had to choose between McDonald's and Checkers, I would take Checkers 100% of the time over McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know why, but I enjoy. Maybe from a kid standpoint, but I enjoyed it more than anything.
Oh man, I miss
burger wise.
What Rallies was one of our favorite spots in high school. It was either Taco Bell or Rallies. And, and if we had a Rallies, I'm glad actually. I'm fat enough. I don't need a Rallies down the street. But if we had a Rallies down the street, I'd be 400 pounds in a week. Easy. All right,
Howard, do they have Freddy's down there?
Is that an ice cream spot?
It has ice cream. The custard's pretty good.
Ice cream too? Yep. I think I might have seen one ever,
like
but I don't. No. I haven't been there. I haven't been there. I thought it was an ice cream spot.
No, it is, but it has burgers, but their burgers are like smash burgers.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna Google it and see. I'll try.
Is that the place that's like Culver's?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they got Culver's in Florida or not.
They do have. I've seen Culver's. in Kissimmee.
Culver's pretty good. If you get a chance to try Culver's, it's worth a try.
I tell you where we, I'm in Dr. Phillips, so I live not too far from Corona Sand Lake. And iDrive and all that stuff. So there's some new stuff that's just opened up. We have not too far around the corner. There's a steak shack around the corner here, and then the other way there's a BurgerFi, and then there's down the other street there's a Five Guys. So outside of the major brands, those are like three ones that they have. But I'm gonna look for Freddy's. Shakes and burgers. Okay, I'm gonna check them out.
I got string fries.
Oh, the really thin ones.
The skinny ones. Yeah. You know they've been opening up here.
What's that?
They've been opening up here. Was the was it White Castle? Just opened up right down the road from it.
Have you never had it?
Well, being from Florida, we used to have what we call crystals.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Crystals.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
So it looks just like crystals. I was in the gym and I ended up meeting the guy. He's the owner. Because I saw him, we working out, but the guy has on a White Castle outfit. Like, not like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, hey, sir, I just got to ask you a question. He goes, yeah. He said, I'm a managing partner of the one for Darryl Carter. I said, oh, man, I've been there before. I live right around the corner. And he's like, yeah. I said, oh, man. Because there's no more crystals here. When I grew up, there was crystals and Hardee's. And you can get, like, the burgers for, like, $3 or whatever. It was, we play football. We want to eat as much as we can, but it was crystals and that. Now it was the White Castles, and they have a line. Matter of fact, it's so crazy. They have a line where they have the place, but then they have another one that's just for people that they order and walk in and pick up the burgers.
Oh yeah.
And leave. I've never seen that ever before.
No, White Castle is like when you're hammered at 3 a.m. It's because when you're sober in the middle of the day, White Castle is disgusting. Whoa. But and wearing a White Castle, outfit to go work out is like wearing a Budweiser t-shirt to an AA meeting. Yeah, that's.
But check it out though. But the guy, he was totally skinny. Like the guy, he was like 140 pounds soaking wet.
What?
Older guy.
Wow.
But I noticed like it wasn't like something you could buy. So I knew he had to be, a part of the franchise, and they sent it to like the franchisees and stuff. But I was like, man, I ain't never seen that before.
I might go there on the way.
But all the up north guys down here, they swear by it.
Their breakfast.
The guys that's from up north.
White Castle breakfast is killer.
Yep.
They're now just having like some White Castle sliders during the middle of the day. No, it's got to be 3. I gotta be blitzed out of my mind. 3 a.m.
I'm bringing some next Monday.
And no, I won't eat them. Huh? I won't unless you want to get me drunk. I'm not gonna eat them.
I always want to get you drunk.
I know that's true. That's true. All right, Howie. So this last lightning round question is one of our favorites. So the zombies are coming. You get to choose 3 people from the cigar industry to be on your zombie apocalypse survival squad. Who do you choose and why?
Okay. Number 1, I gotta take my boy Big Mike.
There you go.
Mike, cigar hustler Mike.
Yeah.
I need somebody got bigger biceps than me. So we're gonna take Big Mike, because we're gonna have to fight. I'm gonna take Abe, man. I'm gonna take Abe, because Abe can be mean.
There you go.
What people say. So I think he can to the zombie. You know what I'm saying?
Plus you could outrun Abe.
Huh?
Plus you could outrun Abe.
Yeah, but if we're gonna fight with him, we can't leave him. No,
I'm just saying, in case you need a sacrificial lamb, it's good to have somebody who's a little slower.
Oh, man,
I'm just saying.
We can't sacrifice. We can't do him like that. And then I need somebody else. Now I need somebody with speed. So you talking about a part of my brand too, or not a part of my brand?
Anybody. You can bring in Circe and Ike too if you want to.
I'll bring in Ike.
There you go. Yeah, he's got speed.
Yeah, he got speed. Yeah. So I think between Big Mike, myself, Abe, and Ike, I think we can take down that apocalypse. We can take it down.
Yeah. You guys would survive for a while with that team right there. Absolutely. All right, let's jump into notable smokables, brought to us by Don Doroteo Cigars, a brand with both purpose and passion, dedicated to creating change from within. By developing their own land, they're able to own the entire process throughout the life cycle of the plant. They methodically carry out each step, ensuring that the final product is of the finest quality. The new Salt of the Earth lines, Piedra Viva and Piedra Angular, are available now at Don Doroteo retail partners. Visit dondoroteo.com to learn more. All right. So, Howie, on Notable Smokables every week, each of us name a cigar we smoked recently that was notable to us. Now, this could be a cigar that's been on the market for decades that we tried for the first time in a long time, or it could be something brand new to the market that you smoke for the first time ever. Obviously, you're smoking a lot of your own stuff, but if you get a chance from time to time to jump outside of your own cigar portfolio, what's something you smoked recently that stood out to you?
Well, I smoke a lot of cigars. Because I'm the commissioner for the Corona Fantasy Football League. When we play and I win, of course I don't want them buying me my own damn cigars. So I tell them what I want to smoke.
There you go.
So depending on who the person is, depending on the level of bets that we have, and so one guy lost to me 2 weeks ago, and I told him to go ahead and give me. Because everybody knows I love Padron, right? So I love my Padron 80 year and stuff like that, 46. But then I smoke a lot of Atabays, I smoke a lot of Placencias, but one that I did not try until recently, and I smoked it and I was like, this is freaking amazing, was the other brand connected to Atabay, which is the Byron.
Oh yeah.
I smoked the Byron. It was a torpedo, but I believe the ring gauge was maybe like a 56.
Yeah.
And it was delicious. I mean, it was delicious. So that cigar, I think it was like $40.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed that whole cigar. Like
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I would say that that Byron, the Byron, it was a torpedo. It was at Sand Lake Corona, and it was a 56 ring gauge.
Okay.
54, 56.
Yeah, Byron.
Phenomenal cigar.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Raleigh, what's your notable this week?
Well, we went to a Halloween party, and me and the wife dressed up, and I was the Dalmatian, and she was the firefighter.
Nice.
Oh, I need pictures, bro.
Yeah, he's got him. He's got him.
I gotta see pictures of that, baby. If you was a Dalmatian, I want to see the pictures.
All right, hold on a second.
Here, I can even pop that up on screen. I mean,
oh, you got it?
I just feel like we got to pop that up on screen.
So, so I actually sitting around, I decided to have our friend Mike Palmer sent us some cigars a couple weeks ago, and I smoked his BDP.
Oh, the BDP.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a good cigar. We should have said.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Here you go.
Is it working?
No.
Why do I feel it's not working?
Oh, man, that's tight. I like it.
I mean, that's just.
Of course, I was humping the leg.
Yeah, you were humping the hell out that leg.
She's got a leash. She's got a leash around your neck. Did
y'all win? Did they do like?
No, it wasn't a costume, but
okay, okay.
It was fun though. It was a good time.
Yeah, that was cool.
You took that leash home with you, didn't you?
Of course, it's my house all the time.
Oh, that's your actual dog's leash. Okay. Well, I thought, hey, take it home, have a little fun.
Yeah.
All right. So my notable was actually going back not a long ways, but when the Ashhole Club Minnesota had the HERF at Perfect Ash. I smoked a cigar I've had quite a bit, but I hadn't had it in a while, was the Sober Mesa Brulee Blue. So Steve Saka.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just I buy those, when I see them, like, yep, I gotta get at least a handful of those, and just a great, Connecticut smooth, mild cigar, tons of flavor, all that good stuff. So
I love it in the morning with coffee.
Yeah, it's a great morning cigar. Absolutely. Yeah. Great dessert cigar too.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I've been experimenting with is
having
cigars So instead of like after a big meal, instead of having the big, heavy, powerful cigar, have a mild cigar. Try it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like because after a big meal, if you're going to have dessert, you don't want dessert to be spicy and heavy. You want dessert to be like sweet and refreshing, and like a milder cigar after a big meal. It's kind of a nice change of pace. I agree. All right, so let's jump into coming attractions. These are some of the cool things we have coming up in the next few weeks on How About That Cigar Live, brought to us by our friends at Hoagland Insurance. And at Hoagland Insurance, they are excited to serve and educate any new customers and give existing customers a refresher. Whether it's a business policy, auto insurance, home policy, or life insurance, if you are currently insured or just looking for a quote, Tony Hoagland and his team would love to create a personal price plan just for you. Mention How About That Cigar when you make your first appointment, and Tony will have a free cigar just for you. For more information, please call 763-421-4900 or visit champlininsurance.com. All right. Next week, November 4th. Holy crap, it's November already next week.
Wow.
November 4th, we have Anto Marukian from JM Tobacco. And then on November 11th, none other than Hector and Jack from Espinosa Cigars on the show. And then more awesome stuff. Well, I mean, honestly, we have shows scheduled, not all of them, but we have people scheduled all the way into, like, I know Jeff Borshowitz is coming on in January. Mm-hmm. So again, I think Jeff's been on the show 4 times already. He'll be on again. Love talking to that guy, but yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming up. How About That Cigar Live?
I can't wait for him to get, I got to get one of them. He does. Man, that FSG beef is ridiculous, man.
Oh, the FSG stuff.
Yeah. So when he has a few, he'll like, what is it? A steer. He'll like he'll sell like take a steer and he'll split it and sell half and half. And so one of my buddies, Paulie, bought it before he bought it before anybody else knew about it. And he goes, Howie, I know you wanted some of that steer. He says, so come by the house, and I got some packages for you. I was like, really? So I go by, and he gave me a couple of ribeyes. He gave me a couple. I said, give me some ground beef because I love to make meatloaf. I love making meatloaf, and he gave me some of that too. And I was like, man. So I called Jeff Big Boss. I say, we had a McAllen event a couple of weeks ago at Sand Lake upstairs, and I said, hey, next time you do one of those things, I don't need the whole steer, but I mean, I'll give you the 1,800. Like, let me get half of the steer. I'll put it in my deep freezer because that beef is good, man. That is some good beef.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good.
Real good.
And
we did an event one time. It's outside of Sand Lake. For my favorite charity is PAL, Police Athletic League, and so I donated a lot of cigars for that. They do a steak event at Charlie's Steakhouse, but probably the same guy, he donated, his donation was some Quintessa, which is like $300 bottles of wine, right? But with an FSG burger. But the thing was, Jeff had to cook it himself. And so we sold out tickets, $50 burgers with a glass of Quintessa. And then I think Jeff donated a lot of like vintage cigars.
Oh yeah.
And I donated some boxes, and a lot of other went in there did like these different raffles and stuff. And it was such a fun event at Sand Lake, daytime event, like between like 3 o'clock to like 6 o'clock, nothing too long. And it was so cool. We raised about like $25,000 in like 3 hours. That went to Police Athletic League, and they help with book bags for the kids and different things like that. So we definitely love supporting that because we get to help the youth, help the guys that steer them in a positive direction. And a lot of those little kids now are noticing. I remember the president of PAL, my buddy Ray Kudre, had a young guy that was a football player that was doing really well on the football field, but he was torn between, going the wrong way because of his crew that he hung out with.
Yeah.
But I remember Ray called me and said, "Hey, Howie, would Ike be willing to, talk to this young fella?" I called Ike. He said, "Hell yeah." That's how Ike is. Like, hell yeah, man. so he went and met with the young fella, and I think he took him to one of the. Ike has a son that's a stud. He's a senior, but he's a stud in football. Like, he's a mixture between playing like Ike and his godfather Troy Polamalu. Like, he hits like that. He's just a stud. 4.0 student. But I think he took him to one of the games and was telling the kid, like, "Man, listen, man, this is what you want to. Don't worry about all this other stuff. This stuff will always be here. If you don't make it or whatever, don't worry about that. Stay focused on what you want to do, because this will actually change your dynamics." And he told him personal stories from himself. So, those are things that we really appreciate and we really like doing, because of the kids. And when I was young, I would have been so excited to see some legends come and talk to us when we were kids.
Yeah.
I was blessed to have great mother and father that believed in using a belt, so that kept me out of trouble. My dad, boy, he swung the belt like Nolan Ryan threw a pitch. You know what I mean? So, boy, it was hell. But now looking back at it, I'm 40 years old. I'll be 41 on Thanksgiving. It's like, boy, I appreciated that. I appreciated that, because I don't know if I would be in this situation I'm in now if it wasn't for that upbringing. So whatever we try to do for the youth, man, is always something that we're big on. Myself, Big Sirs, and Ike as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, do us a favor before we close out the show. Give our viewers and listeners an idea. Where is the best place for them to keep up with everything going on with Howard G Cigars?
Oh, so if you are on Instagram or Facebook, all you got to do is go to howardgcigars.com. Howard G. A lot of people call me Howie G. That they call me that, but the company is named Howard G Cigars. So you can find that. Even if you went to howardgcigars.com, don't worry. None of my retailers, we don't sell cigars on our website anymore, no longer. But you'll see everything that we have going on. And if you want any of this merch and stuff like that, we always constantly have new stuff coming out. Just having a good time, and just building a relationship. And we're building that bridge, like you guys, with this beautiful creation from a tobacco leaf.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't thank you enough for being on episode 266, man. We're glad we finally got you on the big Monday night show, and we had a blast talking to you. Can't wait to see you at events down the road, trade shows, or, if we make our way down to Florida, we'll definitely, give you a ring when we're in the area.
Hey, you give me a ring, man. Let me know you coming to town, and it's on me. I have to show you a good time.
Hey, how close is Orlando to Miami?
Miami is 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
3.5 hours.
I'll be down there on the 14th through the 18th.
Of next month?
Yep.
Let's see.
I'll be at the Espinosa event.
Oh, you going to see Eric?
Zona Palooza.
Well, Eric is my I love Eric. I always, every show we gamble in the slot room, high limit slots in the same hotel, because we both stay at the Venetian.
Oh yeah.
And so Eric, we always in there late night, and every time I see Eric, he hit a jackpot. I'm like, man, I said, every time I see you, you hit a jackpot, man. I said, damn, 12,000. You know what Eric told me? He said, dude, fuck that. He said, fuck that. He has a cigar. He always has a cigar. Yeah.
Yeah, always.
He's like, fuck that. He's like, shit, I'm only down like $8,000 now. I said, shit, you was down 20? so it was me, Eric in there, and it was the rapper Nelly. He was in there. We were
damn.
We were not the Venetian one, the one where the Circle Bar is. What is that called? That's a Palazzo, right?
Yeah, Palazzo.
So we were in that high limit room back there. And so So then I was like, well, shit, I'm not Eric. I can't just lose 20. My wife would go crazy on me. But so I'm like, all right. So I started playing my slot machine. And I said, let me go play the one Nelly was playing next to him, because I saw Nelly like hit a 60 grand jackpot. But then the people told me, they're like, yeah, he hit 60, Howie. He said, but yesterday he lost 50. The day before that he lost 30. So I said, okay. So then I had a buddy of mine that was with me, and I was like, let me just play this machine. I usually stick to my lane. I like $10, $15, $20, right? Because that goes fast. But then I said, let me jump over there, and do 25 or 30. So I messed around and did it. I said, I'm going to put 300 in there, and that's it, right? And on like the third push, I got the bonus. And they gave me like $6,700 and something dollars. I said, all right, I'm up $9,000 now. I got that plus my little 3,000 I had earlier. I said, I'm done. And I said, now I'm just gonna drink and watch everybody else just gamble. And I'm going home with my 9,000.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And so we had a good time. So I don't know what. I'll be honest with you. Are you guys going to New Orleans?
Yeah.
I don't know how much fun I'm gonna have in New Orleans, because I don't like Harris. That casino don't pay.
Yeah, I've never been.
And you can't smoke. And you can't smoke in there. So I'm like, I guess we're gonna have to throw some.
We're all gonna have to figure out where we can go and smoke.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We got to take it back. We got to take it back to Vegas, though.
It will. It is going to go back to Vegas after I think it's
2 years, right?
2 years in New Orleans. Yeah.
Okay.
They're just waiting for them to finish the remodel on the convention center.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, Howie, man, thank you so much for being on the show tonight, brother. We appreciate every minute of it.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, man, guys, I enjoyed it, man. I'm sorry it took so long to actually get me, but I'm glad we were able to make it happen finally. And I'm going to send you guys some Humi packs.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
All right, viewers and listeners, guys, thank you so much for being the best part of How About That Cigar Live. So grateful for having you guys watching with us live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and
Rumble,
and of course the audio podcast listeners. We never want to forget about you guys, and thank you so much for listening to us when you drive down the road, when you work out, whatever it is you do, when you listen to your favorite audio podcast. Thanks for making us a part of it. Click on all the big beautiful buttons, like, subscribe, follow, the bell, all of the things. Click on all those. It really helps us out a lot. And again, if you want customized How About That Cigar ashtrays, lighters, cutters, all that stuff, you can send an email. You'll find us all on the website. If you want to email us, you'll find us at howaboutthatcigar.com. If you want more info about the merch that we have, send me an email, and you'll find me, Matt, at howaboutthatcigar.com. Of course, follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You'll find us on all of those at HBT Cigar. And it never fails, guys, how we close out every show. Burn cigars,
not bridges.
Thanks, guys. Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.